Well, there it is. There's the sound. Now, just Cody, since you're here and I'm here and Ash is here, which one of the three of us did not check?
Oh, no. I checked it and set it up.
Well, as the producer of the show, that's my fault.
Yeah. No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Scott Tompkins says he's reliving the nightmare. You really didn't miss anything.
Not really. Great intro and us
we talked about
shaming
driving.
people who can't drive.
It was our best intro ever, though.
Well, it was one of the best. No one said there was no sound. 70 degrees in Victoria, Texas, heading to a high day of 79 under cloudy skies. You know, we've had a relatively idiot-free show series. The last, I don't know, like 4 or 5 weeks, we've just eliminated aspects that have made the show much more enjoyable for the 99.9% of our 35,000 plus listening audience. If you're listening on the No Bull Network, whether you're in Calhoun, DeWitt, Goya, Gonzales, Carnes, Atascosa, B, Frio, or Jim Hogg counties, we love having you in. 105.9 in Calhoun County. That's the great thing. You can drive. Lots of folks say, I start out listening to you in DeWitt County, but by the time the show's over, I'm in Calhoun County. And that comes in. I mean, that's great. So
where to start? Do we want to start with the protests and the
no.
And now we've got basically a blockade in Minnesota.
That's not where I want to start.
Minneapolis. Okay.
I want to start with the fact it's a Friday.
Okay.
Let's start with the fact that there was a fantastic college football playoff game last night that Ole Miss, who I still look at as a sleepy, lazy, I look at Ole Miss the same way I look at Indiana. Like, what are they doing there? However, Ole Miss continued to surpass my expectations, and Ole Miss finally succumbed to a really hyper-aggressive. I mean, I think there were like 19 targeting calls.
Really?
Yeah, they're just unbelievable. Miami. I've never seen anybody so intense as Mario Cristobal. I think he was a lineman back in the day.
He's lost a lot of weight.
He's lost a lot. Well, he got off the juice. He's no longer on the steroids, but I think he's still on the antidepressants.
Miami wins at 31-27 for those of you who keep a score at home. Should be a good game tonight. Oregon, Indiana. I think Indiana wins it. I really do.
I think Indiana wins as well. Now, does Indiana beat Miami in the final?
Oh.
I mean, does the young
I get a better question. Does anybody watch Indiana and Miami in the final?
Yeah, right. There'll be 18 televisions tuned in all across the Midwest. Yeah. But a good crowd yesterday. They were in Phoenix, I guess. Yeah. And you had
at the Fiesta Bowl,
Miami and
Ole Miss.
Well, Mississippi. I mean, that's a long travel for both.
Miami private school in Florida.
Yeah, you know, I used to joke that the only black people at Miami are the athletes. And it's just about true. I've got a really dear friend who happens to be black from the American Virgin Islands, went to Miami, and everybody thought that he was an athlete because it's a very, very, I mean, not
small,
prestigious in the word, but it's a very small private school. Yeah. So 31-27, great game. I mean, it was 3-0 Miami. Then it was 17-13 at the half. Then it was 17-16 at the end of the third. Miami outscores them by 3 in the fourth to beat them 31-27. Ole Miss just had to settle for a couple of field goals that, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Yeah. But great ball game. And hats off to the Miami Hurricanes, who have made a resurgent turnaround in their program just in the last couple of seasons.
As the number 10 seed in the playoffs. They're going to the national championship game.
Yeah, it just shows you can get hot at the right time.
Yep.
And it's much like the NCAA basketball season. How many times do we see a team that, you know, isn't highly touted make it down to the Elite Eight?
At least the Elite Eight.
Yeah. Rarely the Final Four.
Yeah, that team seems to get – I mean, that Selection committee seems to always get it right. 3 out of the 4 number ones, all 4 number ones. Very rarely is there a 4, 5, or 6 seed in the championship game.
Right. And I guess I have to tip my hat to Carson Beck, who's a quarterback that I thought was a gross underachiever. But he really stepped up last night when they needed him to. What is this? Jennifer Rivers is an Atascosa County commissioner, was charged, convicted, and relieved of possession of his position for theft of fuel. So you know what happened there, right? They probably had a red diesel tank. Honestly, like a farm type diesel, a private use diesel tank at their county yard, and the guy probably filled it up for personal use and got busted. Yeah.
Let me see what I can find out.
See what you can find out. Theft of fuel. Yeah, Joe Mitchell says, great weekend of football. Michael Irvin will lead the Miami Hurricanes to the Natty. Yeah.
Yeah, stealing county-owned diesel for personal vehicle multiple times.
There you have it. There you had it.
According to KSAT.
But, yep, you can use it, but it's got to be in the right situation. It's not just yours to use.
Oh, heck of a lot on it.
No, well, it's pretty cut and dry, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So now back to the standoff. Anybody, I couldn't help this morning but think about the fact that
got probation, by the way.
You've got people. Yes, the crime is nothing. The same people who see no problem.
Look how old the dude is. He should know better.
He should know better.
Probably been doing it for a while.
Should afford his own diesel. The same people who would have you believe that Capitol Police were in dire danger, Capitol Police were totally abused and mistreated by those dreaded J6. I saw those
insurrectionists.
Those people were attacking democracy at the mother church of the Republic. Those same people that will have you believe that garbage, when it was really just a bunch of ne'er-do-well, somewhat idiotic trespassers who should have been detained, arrested, and fined, instead of they're incarcerated forever for treason. Those same idiots that are so anti-January 6th that they want to kill everybody, including Trump, they totally dismiss the actions of this bizarre idiot woman, leftist idiot tool in Minneapolis who interfered with an active ICE investigation. That blows my mind. It blows my mind the hypocrisy of the left that is so blatantly on display that they just have I heard a leftist turd yesterday refer to that woman as exercising her freedom of speech. It was her First Amendment right to block the road, to tell the passenger in her vehicle to get out and video the situation. This woman intended to cause a scene, to cause a problem, which, by the way, we don't know yet who ICE was trying to apprehend at that location. She put officers in harm's way by forcing them to focus on her instead of the task at hand.
Well, and she also allowed for somebody who had a warrant for their arrest to escape custody.
This woman, look, it is a tragedy that she died. The investigation into the officer that shot her should have been over yesterday about lunch. You see the vehicle make contact, and it almost gets to the point where, do we need contact? Is it the intent that gets her shot?
I've got something for all you leftists listening right now. I dare you to go stand 6 inches in front of a vehicle on the left side of the bumper, driver's side bumper, have somebody get into the driver's seat, turn the wheel to the right, and step on the gas and see how quickly you can react. I dare you.
That's right.
You want to, the problem with this country right now, we're nitpicking the video of this thing like we're trying to determine whether the receiver got 2 feet in the back of the end zone and had possession of the goddamn football.
Her head went back and to the left.
Yes.
Back and to the left. It's not the Zapruder film. 100%. Will Franklin says these same people approve of the state-sponsored murder of Ashley Babbitt on January 6th.
Well, and you know what? Probably a little too far, but she did not stop when law enforcement told her to stop.
That's right. But
seen that video. Don't come through the window. Don't you dare climb through that window. She climbed through the window. Really no different than this one. Get out of your car. Get out of your car. Then drive the car forward and get shot.
the reason the ASH, I need to make up that acronym. The reason the ICE agents cover their faces is because of idiots like this woman.
They've been doxxed. They've been harassed.
If you knew, some of you, if you knew that your neighbor was an ICE agent, you wouldn't be friendly to that person anymore. And that's not,
no.
I mean, that's your prerogative, but I'm saying that's in like a big general sense. We don't need people saying that's so-and-so, his daughter. I mean, her daddy is an ICE agent. Don't play with her. That's a shame on America. That's not shame on the ICE agent.
But the fact that this woman, this is what she does. I'm curious to find out what she does as a living, because apparently she's a poet.
Oh,
I don't know too many poets, but I know enough starving artists. They don't make any money.
You lose me at the whole lesbian poet thing.
Well, here's the thing. How did she know they were coming?
Well, because the left is extremely organized.
There's a lot of questions leading up to what happened yesterday that need to be answered to determine exactly. But all it boils down to, really, her decisions to get involved into something she had no business being involved in, interfering with the execution of a warrant for somebody who's in this country illegally, and who knows what else they were doing in this country, because we don't know now, because we will never probably find out who they were after.
Yeah.
But I'm going to guess, since most of the people ICE have been targeting have not been very good citizens,
They're not.
probably a criminal record, probably pedophile, probably a sex offender. Those are my guesses.
One or all of the above.
Yes.
Bob Constantine says she had to be a paid activist. Not to mention the fact that it says ICE all over their uniform. I mean, what would stop me from getting fake credentials? Do the credentials make you feel better? Does being able to see my face make you feel better? My cherubic.
Well, the fact that I'm sure a lot of them are probably involved in undercover stuff as well, but they probably don't want to be doxxed.
Andrew Alvarez says, ironically, if there hadn't been ICE on the road, there might not be an agent with us anymore.
Well, the road did not look that icy to me, but regardless, had she not been driving towards a law enforcement officer with her car, which all of a sudden cars are no longer weapons, but they certainly seem to be a weapon every time a drunk gets behind the wheel.
Absolutely. Hi, Tommy Kingston.
So you've got an idiot who has no ability to discern common sense and common and proper actions. And you want to protest? Stand on the side of the road and protest. No ICE, no ICE.
But you know,
getting involved in the middle of it, you're no longer protesting. You're involved in a situation you have no business being involved in, and now they've set up blockades on the road, and it's a mess. And Minneapolis is just proving it is an idiotic city.
Minneapolis is just a cesspool of fraud and corruption to begin with. It starts with the leadership, whether it's Ilhan Omar or Timmy Waltz or
Jacob Fry, the mayor.
Terrible.
I want to see how Jacob Fry's going to walk all his things back since he was sitting there going, ICE needs to get the F out of Minneapolis.
What an irresponsible. Have you noticed how the left will resort to foul language in public? Whether it's, Gavin Newsom, whether it's this mayor he was wrapped in the Somali flag for the last decade, and all of a sudden now he's just F-bombing law enforcement.
But Trump stutters and they think it's the worst thing ever.
Oh yeah. By the way, if you have an opinion that's counter to this, then you need to go ahead and step up and be on the air as well. 361-894-4020. We refuse no phone call. You can feel free to call us anytime. But if you are someone who says, well, we don't know who the officer was, and, well, they're kind of being aggressive with their arrest, then you're just an idiot and you're part of the problem. That's just the way it is. I feel bad that a woman got shot. I feel bad that an ICE officer who had a wife and family of his own had to protect himself in that moment. Anybody who thinks that he went out there to assassinate her is just an idiot. If she's not there, she doesn't get shot.
Consequence of her decisions and every bad decision she made yesterday leading up to the worst decision of her life, which cost her life.
Yep. And you know what? You can put this, Torrin Bales, I'll paraphrase what you said. The reality is the sanctuary and blue managed and run cities, the problem goes straight back to Joe Biden's open border. You can lay this at the feet of Joe Biden. No doubt about it. Anybody that wants to blame this on Donald Trump has to also be able to go back and blame Joe Biden for that. No doubt about it. So there you have it. If you're not there, if you don't mess around, you don't find out.
Scott Tomko with probably the most common sense comment regarding this thing.
Right. You wouldn't put yourself in the middle and read that. That's a great one.
If I was driving down the road and saw a bunch of dudes on the road with guns and no identification on their uniforms, I surely wouldn't put myself in the middle of them.
And then start waving out the window, go away, I'm an artist.
Yeah. But these guys had uniforms identifying themselves.
Tommy Kingston says, I was watching Glenn Beck last night, and he said that the governor, killing me, Smalls, that the governor and mayor are going to wind up in jail. Not quite sure where his info came from. They won't. Tommy, they should.
Walls probably could from the fraud going on there.
$24 billion.
That he was, and counting. It goes up every day. It was 18 last week. But Walls knew about this. I've told you this. The whistleblowers. What's interesting is you and I talked about this like in October.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this. There are people musing now that this one right here, this one may not just heal over. There could be anarchy. There could be civil war in the streets. I will meet you in the street to defend our law enforcement officers. That's fine. I'll be the guy behind all the guys in uniform with badges. Meet me out there. It is absurd. Somebody today is going to feel bad for this bonehead that the sheriff's office had to shoot yesterday. The guy's driving down the road, shooting at him outside of a Suburban, shooting at him.
Chased him from Bloomington into Victoria. So he went from a less populated area into a more populated area, and then decided, you know what? Let's just start shooting.
Let's have a standoff.
Bullets.
And they spent another hour trying to negotiate with the guy. Multi-time felon.
And now the Texas Rangers are investigating, so there must be fraud.
Well, the Texas Rangers are the investigative arm of the sheriff's office. The fact that the Texas Rangers are coming in to investigate
is because there was a shooting.
In no way insinuates that it wasn't the right thing to do.
No, they investigate these types of shootings all the time.
Absolutely. 100%.
Andrew Alvarez says President Trump should federalize, or whatever the correct term is, in Minnesota, since Tim Walz is activating them to push back.
You see where Tim Walz said he might send the Minnesota National Guard to get rid of the ICE agents. Good luck.
I believe the National Guard has a duty to uphold the Constitution. And
We've talked about this many times here before. If you don't like the law of the land, rather than protesting like an idiot with your Honda Pilot, why don't you negotiate a way to vote and change those laws that you don't like?
terrible advertising for Honda at the moment.
It's terrible. What we call that woman's death has been determined by the National Traffic Safety Administration as pilot error. That's what that was, pilot error.
So bad.
Womp, 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 womp. Let's take a quick break.
No
and
womp womp.
Let's get our esteemed colleague and guest in here. Aaron will be in here in a moment. Folks, Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Inviting you to come in, support one of 7 local charities. Palace Bingo, there's no telling. I don't even have any idea how much money they have spread out in the community through the decades.
I think it's like something like pushing $1 million a year.
Oh, yeah. No, it's big.
Yeah.
It's a significant contribution to the charities involved. Yep. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen's is your go-to tow-to. You have a problem getting from here to there, from anywhere, call Allen's Wrecker Service. Went Services, went for all your electrical needs, went for your generator needs. This false spring of the last couple of days, it's over
tonight.
It's going to get chilly again. Count on it. Call Went for all your electrical needs. Chesnick Furniture, Chesnick showing you daily. Chesnick and Love make your house a home. Get in and see how you just always do better at Chesnick. You'll have a great time. Bobby Leon and his family will serve you and yours. Parvita Wellness and the Vita Cafe.
Yep.
Vita Cafe will help you with your metrics. They'll help you with all of your measurables.
You want to eat better this
cholesterol
New Year's. You want to get healthier. Go visit Erica. She will help tailor a diet to your needs and your specific needs as well, whether bariatric surgery has been what you've had, gastric bypass, whether you've got type 2 diabetes, whether you just want to eat healthier in the new year.
She can help you manage all of that. So, yeah. And by the way, we're celebrating 100 years. A South Texas tradition for over 100 years. Atzenhofer dealerships since 1926. Chevrolet and Atzenhofer synonymous with Victoria. No telling how many tens of thousands of satisfied customers Atzenhofer has created through the century. So with that, we're joined by our friend and yours, Aaron Gloschke, correctly?
That's correct.
Nicely done. But there's no H in there.
No, it's Bohunk. It's Bohunk. Victoria ISD Education Foundation. He's the executive director, and they have a fundraiser coming up. Is that what it is?
Yes, we have.
It's a celebration is what it is, Aaron.
Yeah, let's call it that. Yeah.
Let's call it a party.
Yeah. Party.
Tell folks
Yeah.
what's going on. You've got a camera and a large public
Okay.
right there.
Oh, right there.
There
Hello.
you go.
Good
there
morning.
you go.
Yes, we do. We have a benefit concert by Roger Krager. We hope that's going to be a hit around here. And that's on February 7th at 7 p.m. at the Fine Arts Center. We'd like you all to come out and support not just Roger, but the Education Foundation. Tickets range from $20 to $30. So we think that's actually kind of reasonable.
That is
It's
very
reasonable.
reasonable.
And it's is it at the Fine Arts?
It is at the Fine Arts Center.
But the way I describe that is it's at the old Victoria High School by the old gym. There's
Absolutely.
that beautiful theater there.
That's
you have any
4
idea
weeks
how many
from
seats are in
tomorrow.
there?
Have we got a what?
Any idea how many seats are in that building?
About 1,400.
Okay. No, it's
So we got room for you.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Roger Krager, his band is extremely talented. They put on a great show. I don't imagine that the folks are going to stay in their seats at this event. A concert.
Well, we'll
of
give you
Roger
a seat if
Krager,
you want to move into the aisles or move
That's
there.
what
No,
I
we ain't
think will
gonna.
happen.
Yeah.
I think, and tell me the date again.
February 7th. It's a Saturday.
Well, that's awesome. Saturday, February 7th.
Roger Krager, 1,400 of your closest friends, $30,
Yeah.
$20,
20,
bucks.
30
I mean,
bucks, depending on how close you
Yeah.
want to be. But they put on a great show. Roger's extremely talented and has a large following here in Victoria. I've seen him many times, and most recently, John Paul Hull, our host, has put him on right down the street at Moonshine, street dances, with well over 1,400 people.
So should be a good show. I'm gonna just to the naysayers. Well, there's no room to dance. You know what?
There is room.
I've seen Roger Craig at a lot of these festivals. Nobody's dancing anyway. You're standing there, shoulder to shoulder. You get to sit in a nice seat in an air-conditioned venue and enjoy all that Roger Craig has to offer.
Probably slip your Mickey in there with
You
you. inside
might
your
be able
boot.
to.
Maybe.
You might have a Mickey or two.
Just don't tell anybody. But no, I think it's going to be a
Just-
great show.
And just a caution too, we didn't have time to arrange everything so we could get a cover band. So, or I don't mean a cover band, but
Opening
like
band?
a opening act. So he will take the stage pretty close to 7:00.
Oh,
Nice.
that'll be awesome.
So you don't
Oh,
have
so
to
it's
listen
not
to
what-
somebody
yeah.
else you don't know before you listen to the person
At
you
10
paid to
o'clock.
come here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Nice.
Right.
Good.
Yeah. And then you get to go home early, maybe still party at that night.
There you go.
Absolutely, you can still go out.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great show. February 7th. That's 4 weeks from tomorrow. So still time to get tickets, plenty of time to make your plans. So, Aaron, something different. I'll tip the hat to you because this is something completely different from what you guys have done
It is.
in the
Yep.
past, and that's great. I think it's awesome to be doing something kind of
Creative.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. It's
Innovative.
innovative. Nice word. But bottom line is, all the money is being raised to help you guys support teachers and education. So exactly, how do you guys do that?
Exactly.
What does
Oh,
the
I'm
Education Foundation? Give me like your mission. What do you guys do?
Well, I really appreciate the question. We raise money to give grants to teachers. So, in other words, your best teachers have to write grants to get the money. And whatever you want to think about what goes on in VISD or what the kind of teachers we have or whatever, I'm telling you, really good teachers take the time to write a grant to give to their student, to produce more in the classroom for their students. We support that. And the other thing is we give scholarships to students.
That's all.
So, yeah, teachers of the month, right? Star teachers of the month, staff members, we support that. Teachers of the year, we support that.
That's
So,
awesome. That's, I know that there are other districts nearby that have education foundations that raise money to help offset the cost of like Chromebooks and things like that. It's endless what you can do. And I think that's
exactly right. We can do what the district can't do,
Right,
like
you're
legally.
unencumbered, yeah.
Exactly. And we could also do what the district can't afford to do sometimes. So
That's now. How long have you been here?
I've been in this position a year. I've been in Victoria for 8-9 years now.
Awesome.
And yeah.
Well, you're doing a great job. You're very visible. I see you at all the same events that we all get dragged to, and no, I think you're doing.
This
a
will
great
be one
job.
you don't have to drag anybody to. I
should
can't
hope
imagine-
not.
No,
It should be a great time.
I really think it will be a great
Tell me,
time.
give us maybe something that somebody doesn't know, like an aside or a charge that you've gotten from Super Sheila. What is her attitude towards the new Super? What's her attitude towards the foundation, and what experience did she bring to that task?
She's been really friendly with us, which I appreciate, and she's given me an opportunity once or twice to address the board of trustees,
go.
which she's invited me to do again. And I'm going to hand out that.
Nice.
We have some information reports that we give to the board of trustees, and it's nice having that liaison that kind of gets you in the room. It probably doesn't hurt that I know your friend and mine, Micah Patton, but that's
does
not,
help,
that
no
helps
doubt.
a little bit. But yeah, she's been nothing but supportive of us. So we're hoping that
We're excited. We're excited about the
continues.
direction BISD is going, and obviously with you being able to, it's nothing but positivity out of the Education Foundation, and that's awesome. So I'm
How can
fairly
folks-
certain.
yeah.
Are we calling it? We're going to be there, aren't we? On
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll be there.
What
to support.
how can people get tickets?
Well, you can go to the website, visdfoundation.org, and the first banner you're going to see is Roger Crager. But if you can't find that, go to the events, and he's the only event, so the big button to buy tickets is right there.
Look at that. Ash is just.
I was going to
making-
punch it in just to see if I'm lying or not,
he
right?
types in hieroglyphics.
It's also on the Wayne Carter news page.
Nice.
Yeah, see, you go to the
Fantastic.
Carter
There we
page,
go.
and
Thank you
we
very
promote
much.
it. It's a direct link, right? Cody, you go to the page, you go to news, there it is, boom, you're ready to buy tickets.
It's there
exactly
in
right.
the comments on both Facebook and on YouTube this morning. So go check it out.
Jennifer
Tell-
Rayburn says there's tons of
Yep.
seats.
Not
And
a-
not
there's not a
seat
bad seat in the house.
There really
Great-
isn't.
great
No,
place.
it's great. It is a great venue.
Acoustics are great. It'll be a fun
Oh no,
place.
it'll be fantastic.
Junior Sample says he's going to take 2 tickets up front, so he'll be there.
There you go.
So we should sit in the back.
Yes.
then.
Is
exactly.
junior still
Throw-
allowed in a public venue?
I didn't-
thought there was
I
some
didn't think so.
discrepancy.
Well, there's going to be no kids there, so it's okay.
Okay, because I know he's not allowed within 50 feet of a junior high or a Chuck E. Cheese. I didn't remember exactly.
What are some of the things? What are some of the highlights that the foundation has done in the past? Just a couple of things that maybe people don't know that you've helped teachers accomplish, just so they can have an understanding of where their dollars go and how they support.
That's man. I got so many stories. Like, which one do I pick?
They provided that diesel to the Excosa County Commissioners.
There was. I don't even understand the concept, but there was this some kind of a orb or ball that you talk into, and one of our teachers, I won't name her. I won't call her out just yet, but she applied for this grant to get one of these balls that kids would talk to, especially working with special needs children, to integrate them into a classroom.
Okay.
So we supported that grant, the money to buy those things and turn that around. And it's amazing when you look at the results that she got from students and the engagement. It just changed it overnight. It was like complete change
awesome.
in the students and you're just like, yeah, more of that, right? We want to support more of that. One of the other things we've done is like these book vending machines. For whatever reason, you hand a kid a book and they won't read it. You give them a token. You say, go over here to this machine, put it in like like you're getting an old, bag of snacks or whatever. And suddenly they get to pick a book and now they're interested in reading.
Well, that's
So
cool.
that's been popular at some of our elementary schools.
Well, they've
But,
picked
yeah.
the book, so it's
Yeah,
their, it's
exactly.
their topic, it's their interest, they have
Exactly,
ownership.
exactly.
That's awesome. No, that's great. I think that's fabulous. Roger Prager, February 7th, 7:00, VISD Fine Arts Auditorium, supporting the VISD Education Foundation. Aaron, what else do you want people to know about what you're doing?
I appreciate you just having me on this morning.
Well,
Thank you
I
very
would love
much.
you
And
to-
I love getting the news out because what I found when I took over is that nobody knew what the foundation was or did.
We are
Like,
very,
we gotta change
very,
that.
very pro VISD.
Pro
And
education.
and I want you, which is not always the same thing, but I want you to take it as an open invitation from Wade and Carter that when you have a win, when something happens and you're like, oh, I wish I would have known that 3 weeks ago when I was on the program, reach out again and come back. We are here to help promote your cheerleading. I'd love you to say, right after I left you guys, I got a request for a grant, blah, 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 and 50 kids.
Oh, I'd be happy to do it. Absolutely.
Linda Chris says they're looking on the website now for tickets. Jennifer Rayburn says there's also some sponsorship opportunities available on the website. So
Absolutely.
tell us a little bit more on the sponsorship opportunities, if you could, because we've got some people that listen that probably would be
Yeah,
interested
they
in
can
that.
do it.
The sponsorship forms are on the same webpage with the event, and you
Now
have
they're
different
on Wade and
levels.
Carter, too.
You have
Oh,
different
look at
levels of sponsorship, and depending on which level you choose, there are tickets that go with that. So I think it starts at like 500. It goes up to probably as much as you want to give, but we do have some sponsors that are able to do that, and
We need some of you people to sponsor this deal and give some of those tickets to me and Ash. Thank you.
yeah, there you go.
There you go.
What the heck? I didn't get anything.
And Commander.
And
And Commander.
You can be
He
Ash's
could be the
plus
fifth wheel.
one.
He'll be
Yeah.
the fifth wheel.
Yeah, the fifth wheel.
Hey, Daniel Bird says those book machines are awesome.
So there you have it.
Yeah,
Right? There we go.
because Daniel Bird's over there stiff arming kids and taking their tokens.
He's buying the books.
I don't want your lunch money. I don't have lunch money. We get free lunch. No, I want the book token. Yeah,
Well,
Daniel Bird's buying all the Hardy Boys books out of those machines.
absolutely.
I don't think I read I think I read about half of those. I was always impressed by the people that could get through all of them, but
No, it's
I never.
I tried.
Anyway.
You couldn't keep up.
there used to be a guy
W. Dixon was writing 3 or 4 a year.
when I was a little kid. There was a book series about a guy named Henry Huggins, and Cody did a little research over there. Henry Huggins, and I don't remember what the books were, but they were always like little. He was like a little junior detective, and I remember.
It's called Henry Huggins.
Okay,
And sometimes he was with Beverly Cleary.
Beverly
Oh,
Cleary
Beverly
is the
Cleary's-
writer.
Okay, sure.
And I remember going back, just as like a high schooler, going, these were really cool books, and trying to read it. Boy, it was really down at the elementary level, but it was great stuff. When I was a kid, It was kind of like a low grade Huck Finn. You know, like
Okay.
Brent, this one's called Henry Huggins Potty Trains. Of course, it's at a low level.
Right, absolutely.
Brent's favorite book to this day.
But you know what? When you get to be my age, it applies again. It comes around full circle. Henry Huggins and the Leaky Depends. You know? There you have it. Aaron, we appreciate you coming in. I hope you had a good time. And
Absolutely.
we want to have you, definitely want to have you come back. I mean,
Yeah, between now and then, come on back.
and
No,
if you
absolutely.
see Super Sheila,
I really
say that
appreciate
the
it.
Wade and Carter guys asked about her, and we'd like to have
No,
her
no,
come in.
I will do that.
Bring
Very
her
much.
with you. Tell her she's got to wear those cool shades. She has the biggest Jackie Onassis shades that I was like, are you like antisocial? No, why would you say that? I can't see you. I'm wearing welding goggles. She's amazing. We're very proud of her. What did he say?
Daniel Bird says I could take on 6 or 7 of those elementary age kids at once.
Until one of them shanks you, cuts your Achilles. Well, hey, Aaron Glossy, thank you so much, brother.
Absolutely.
We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
Thanks for
you
having me
coming
on.
in.
Look at that. Since you've been here, we've already sold at least 2 tickets.
How about that?
Hey, we're up 2.
Wade and Carter making it happen. I created you an exit path with the screen so you may pass and go in peace,
All right,
my brother.
I'm going to leave you this with you.
Please
Absolutely.
do. Please do.
Absolutely.
We'll help promote this. That's February 7th. It's a Saturday. You'll want to be there for Roger Krager. It's a concert, dance. Just get there. You can do what you want in the stands, and we'll have a great time. So, thank you, Aaron. That's Aaron Glossy. Thank you. What a great proponent of education here in our region with the VISD Education Foundation.
I'm looking at this page right here. There's at least a dozen scholarship winners on that page alone. So
That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
looking-
scholarships and
but a-
grants and things
Yeah.
to benefit teachers and students. The Education Foundation bridges the gap between funding and the need for funds. So that's just awesome. And we'll have him back on soon.
absolutely.
What
So they gave over $186,000 in teacher gifts, grants, student scholarships, and district support in the last fiscal year. So there
Wow,
you
that's
go.
awesome.
That's coming out of this community, folks. That's because
your
of
money.
you. You guys are letting the foundation give over almost $200,000 a year to teachers and students in their quest to become better educators and better educated. So that's awesome.
That's
Hats off to
awesome.
you. Hats off to
See
you.
what kind of comments we're getting over there from the literate.
Dan McKeeling says you can always donate to the foundation. You don't have to wait for the fundraiser. Good idea.
Good idea. White Trash Services says, morning. Oh, look, an aside. Morning, everyone. This is Doug. Just want to update you on the volunteer fire department collaboration. When I left yesterday, we had raised $3,175 for 26 different volunteer fire departments that are being supported. White Trash Services is encouraging you, if you're not currently a customer, if you sign up for a 1-year commitment, it's not even a
No,
contract.
it's month to month.
If you make a 1-year commitment, they're going to give $25 to your local or your designated.
There's
volunteer
actually, you
fire
don't even have
department.
to make a year. That's a month to month, no service agreement required.
If you agree to a 2-year, they're going to lock your price in for 2 years and give $50 to your designated volunteer fire department. And if you go 3 years, which by the way, we confirmed, if you go 3 years, well, shoot, I may move before that. Guess what? It's transferable.
Yeah.
So if you go 3 years, and let's say it's $100 a month, and over the next 3 years, fuel goes through the roof, and now the rate's $150, that contract would certainly be a bonus when you sold your home. They're going to give $100 to the volunteer fire department of your choice for that 3-year commitment.
Let's game the system a little bit. If you're an existing customer, call and cancel, then call back and re-add it just so that you can give 25 or 50 or $100 to your fire department.
And just like that, Wade and Carter has another opening for a new sponsor. I mean, just like that, through Ash's haste.
No, you're going back. You're just helping your fire department now. That's all.
Yep.
No, awesome, great. I think it's awesome that White Trash is giving back. So
So fantastic. That's awesome. Great to have Aaron
Yep.
on. I've met Aaron several times, and he's always. You meet those people. I want to be that person. Sometimes I think we're viewed as those people, but he's just always upbeat about whatever cause he's working on. I know that you and I, we got a lot of attaboys over Keep Victoria Beautiful and the cleanup projects and things
The
that we
poops that we spread on
Yes, poop on others' porches.
plants on others.
Yeah, plants on others' porches. The poop project really went well and was significant, and it makes you feel good. And you can have that feeling by just donating to the Education Foundation.
Absolutely. Just a couple of wins for this current administration, because they always seem to, every administration always points to these things as wins. So let's do it.
Yep.
The Atlanta Fed says they're nearly doubling their fourth quarter growth estimate for 2025 to 5.4%.
Right. I think it was originally at like just under 3%
Yeah.
was what they projected, and it's at 5.4. That's really
That's
good.
what they're saying.
Unemployment's still holding at 4.5%, which
Looks
we
like-
all think is transitory. It's not like there's 100 people and 94 or 95 and a half of them have a job.
Yeah, I've heard enough
that way.
economists say that basically anything under 10% is almost really
Yeah.
no unemployment. What else? It looks like we will add jobs to the private sector. It's funny how now that we're not adding a bunch of government jobs, we're
good.
yeah,
Union government jobs.
exactly.
Joe
Now, what do
Biden.
you make of this? Yesterday, President Trump says that we're going to start land strikes on cartels in Mexico.
I think that's going to be, you'll find out later, in cooperation with Claudia Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico. She obviously cannot come out and say
No, because she'll die.
she would die very quickly.
She'll be killed by the cartels.
But I want you to make a note that when the United States exerts its will into Mexico, there will be absolutely no official Mexican pushback. That's what you need to make a note of. None. There is really no reason to be the world's last great superpower if you can't whip somebody's ass once in a while.
Of course, the president warned Mexico Sunday in response in I think a press conference regarding the Venezuela escapade and the warrant served on Maduro that Mexico needs to get its act together.
Here's what he
And
says. You have to do something with Mexico. We're going to have to do something. We'd love Mexico to do it. They're capable of doing it. But unfortunately, the cartels are very strong in Mexico.
yeah, that statement though tells you what
He
is
thinks
the
that
problem.
he's in bed with the cartels.
Well, that or they just can't because the government is so corrupt and in bed with the cartels. Maybe not to her level.
Trump said that
Same,
he's
probably.
spoken with Mexican. She did not get elected without the blessing of the cartel,
No,
whether she was cartel dirty or not.
no.
Trump has said that he had spoken with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum on a number of occasions, saying that the United States has offered to send troops into her country. However, he described her as afraid and that the cartels are running Mexico.
I've read a few books
Not
on this.
her.
What the cartels do is they go in and they grab Mexican Navy personnel, former law enforcement. They will threaten families.
Yeah.
They will offer more money than these folks have ever seen in their
And
life.
give them better weapons than they
Well,
have
yeah.
in Mexico.
And they force them to turn sides because they threaten their kids and their loved ones. And it's terrible, but that's what the cartels are doing.
You have to relax your brain and accept that these are people that when I lived in the valley, they had a shootout one day under an overpass, and law enforcement was outgunned, both in terms of the weapons that were being used and the numbers of people. And they came back the next day, and there were folks hanging by their necks from the overpass. These are ruthless, brutal people who dominate regions by fear.
They'll put heads on stakes and line them along a highway to send messages to rival cartels and the people in that area of who's in control. They don't care.
Kristen Glosky says, thank you for supporting my husband and the VISD Foundation. Amazing work happens every day in our schools. I look forward to meeting you, ma'am, and I agree with you 100%. And I thought Aaron did a great job representing the VISD Education Foundation.
Bonnie Howard says everything I was taught about economics and employment was that about 3.5% is effectively full employment.
Right.
I've heard anywhere from 5 was what I think I would remember from school to about 10% is.
Well, that's
basically-
Canadian.
Could be.
unemployment,
Yeah, we're
right? You know,
accounting for inflation
Yeah.
and the exchange rate.
yeah.
Speaking of which, speaking of Canada, I
Ooh,
heard
Canada.
Alberta referred to as Timu, Texas
That's nice.
the other day. I thought that was rather hilarious.
That's nice.
You know what? We didn't do much of a roll call today.
If you got
so
Texas
I
at
will-
Costco, it would be Canada, yeah.
So Ricky King, Greg Garcia, and Bobby Leister were on the podium.
That's a
this
great
morning.
trio. Scott Tonko, Andy Rogovich, Mark Kurtz, Mark Zapata. That's a lot of good men right there. We appreciate you guys. checking
Justin
in.
Glass, Heather Stewart, Zed checking in, Lisa Poole, Torm Bales,
Micah
Scott
Patton.
Snow,
Andrew Alvarez.
Jordan Glass,
What a group.
Jennifer Rayburn, Marina, good morning, Daniel Wade White, Sherry Jacobs, Danmore De La Garza,
Hi,
Pat
Dana.
Matula,
Hey, Pat.
Katina Arterberry, man, Joe Mitchell.
Joe Mitchell. You talk about a guy that fell into a pot of jam. He used to have to deal with all the micromanagement of Victoria Country Club. Now he's out there in the middle of nowhere with a golf course. It's just amazing. I asked him, how can I get on that golf course? He goes, make more money and join.
Brad Mitchell,
Yeah.
Ricky King, good group.
Our
Thank you
buddy
all.
Bob Constantine on the mend.
Look at that. James Kurth. Haven't seen James for a while. Will Franklin.
There you go. That's
Matt
his,
Boucher.
that's his alter ego, J.W. Kurth.
Matt-
J-Dub. J-Dub Kurth.
Matt Boucher checking in, fresh off retirement. Oh, I got another J-Dub checking in. I had a nice visit back home with J-Dub's mom, and Gene Wiley is now a regular viewer of the show.
Nice.
So there's Jonathan Williams, another J-Dub. Good. We're glad you're all here. Let's see what else is happening in the world today.
Couple of things. Let me give them to you right quick because we may have a call. If we're lucky, we'll have a call. It'd be super if we had a call. Astros reach 1-year contracts with the following. Some you'll know, some you won't. Brian Abreu and Hunter Brown. Jake Myers, that's great. So that means he's not going to be traded. Stephen Okert, Jeremy Pena. This is avoiding arbitration for different levels of people. And Nick Allen. Nick Allen's the trade that we did that got us essentially our next Mauricio Dubon, that guy. We did not agree to terms yet with Yainer Diaz or Isak Paredes,
or Justin Verlander.
which is fine. It's going to take more money. It may take arbitration. But all Astros updates brought to you courtesy of the First State Bank of Louise, the friendliest bank anywhere. Super nice people. Always there. By the way, if you go in right now, they have a wonderful charcuterie board / cutting board that's a free gift for opening a checking or savings account. So you can't go wrong there.
No. Rodeo Houston announcing their lineup yesterday. March 2nd, Riley Green will be the first act on the stage at Rodeo Houston. A bunch of new artists making their debut, or a bunch of artists making their debut. They're not new, but some of them I've never heard of. Dickerson, Lizzo. I'm not saying I haven't heard of any of these, but they're all making
Lizzo, I think, is Lizzo like a drag guy?
hip hop. Big.
Oh,
big
big
woman.
girl, big
Yeah.
girl. Adele without Paravita. Okay.
Forrest Frank, Megan Maroney. I'm surprised Megan Maroney hasn't been there before. Creed,
Creed.
back.
Are they alive?
Yeah, believe it or not. Shabuzi had a couple of hits last year. Pepe Aguilar, the Red Clay Strays, huge band right now. Co Wetzel.
Here, give me my Bluetooth over there.
All right.
Right, the blue one. Lando, you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on?
Well, I like it. I like that I still have the mystique with you that I can summon you and you call, and I appreciate that very much. For you Victorians, we're joined by Landon Simpson. Landon currently a scout, the West Coast Eyes of the New England Patriots, working with his buddy and boss and mentor, Alonzo Highsmith. And both, Alonzo, of course, a former University of Miami star who went on and played for the Houston Oilers. Many of you will remember.
Yep.
And he and Landon have a great relationship. But Landon brings some perspective because he worked directly with and for Mario Cristobal at the University of Miami. Certainly not this season. Was it last season or the season before?
No, so I was there in Mario's first season in 22 and 23, and then finished up the spring cycle in the portal where we brought in Cam Ward, and then right after that is when Alonzo and I left to the NFL.
There you go. Cam Ward, that worked out pretty good. And there were a lot of us that didn't think Carson Beck was really matching that experiment, except I'm sure you watched the game last night. Carson Beck was as promised last night. What did you think about his performance?
Yeah, absolutely. Throughout the year, there was times where you kind of wanted to ask the question with how good that defense was. Because, when you look back at last year, a lot of people have talked about, like, if Miami's defense played the way it has this year, last year, they probably would have won it all with Cam Ward and that offensive firepower they had last year. This year, obviously, when you look at the two games Miami has lost, a lot of people kind of were down and out on them. But when you look at it, it was a 4-interception game versus Louisville by Carson Beck, and then lesser turnover game. But when they were in Dallas over here playing SMU, they had a turnover late on like the 5-yard line when all they needed was a field goal to tie it. So the opportunities have been there all year for them to be an undefeated team. It just didn't work out that way, and they've gotten hot at the right time and played well. And the biggest thing that Carson Beck did last night was he didn't hurt them.
That's right.
He extended plays, found ways to use his legs, which he isn't known for, and he made the throws he needed to make. There was nothing flashy, nothing crazy about it. Miami wide receivers were able to get behind their secondary when they needed to, and Carson Beck made the throws when he needed to. So it was really just when you watched the game, I felt like Miami dominated every facet of the game.
They did.
just
Ole
didn't
Miss really
capitalize
showed
as much as-
themselves well, though.
Couldn't
How about
put them
this?
away.
Shift gears with me, and as much as you feel comfortable, because I know that the crazy Cuban will track you down. Give me some insights into the psychotic nature of Mario Cristobal, because I watched that guy last night, and his BP was so through the roof at one point. I'm telling you, he went cross-eyed. He was so livid at the officials over the perception of targeting calls and stuff that he went nuts. Is he always that intense? And do you have a story that you feel comfortable sharing that he won't kill you over?
Oh, I mean, that's just the guy. Like, I had heard, obviously coming from A&M with Jimbo Fisher, like Jimbo was just so hands off of the staff and laid back and on his own, doing his own thing. He didn't really, I'm not going to say he didn't care about the recruiting aspect, but he wasn't micromanaging that. He wasn't, all of his energy was towards the X's and O's and things like that. Mario is the type of coach, when I went to him, it was like, when you want your work to be valued, and what I was doing at Miami was recruiting, it comes with a double-edged sword, because when someone is that intense about recruiting, and they sleep 3 hours every night, that's it. He probably goes to bed at 1 o'clock and is up at 4, and he's at the office. He texts over 300 guys a day. This is the guy who some schools, the young staff members take the coach's phone and mass shootout text to kids and all that and make contact with them. But Mario's the type where he's going to do it all on his own. So
he's intensely involved.
Yes, there's an undying willingness for him to take Miami to where they need to be. And, I kind of look across and, like, a lot of people you talk to, Nick Saban was a little bit crazy in his own way.
Right.
You didn't see that intensity as often as you do with Mario. But the thing that I kind of learned pretty quickly in college football is the best coaches have a couple screws loose. Like, you look at Dan Lanning, when you see Dan Lanning talk after a game, he's just so intense. And that's because in that environment, like, if you're not up, you're down and you're out.
So take
And
me
that's one of
through.
those things.
We've got Indiana playing who, Ash?
Indiana
Oregon.
playing Oregon.
All right, who wins that game, Lando?
Isn't that Cristobal's old school too, Oregon?
Well, it's Cristobal's old school at Oregon, and it's the same. It's actually the battle of the former Miami staff or A&M staff. When I was at A&M, the chief of staff and DPP at Oregon now were my bosses at A&M, along with the DPP over at Indiana, which is all director of player personnel, scouting related.
Right.
They're all at those respective schools. So I'm actually highly invested in this one because those are all my people. And then, of course, I scouted Oregon this year. So, I want to say that Oregon wins it, just top to bottom. They have more firepower on their roster. They'll have more guys drafted. But, man, when you look at the way Signetti coaches that team, I mean, we talk about it all the time. You talk about taking a bunch of guys who, even in the portal, we were talking about them out of James Madison. Like, I mean, they won a conference championship at James Madison, but to copy and paste the entire roster from James Madison to Indiana, that's not going to work. And they're, 24-2 since then?
Yeah.
What I'm seeing, Lando, is that you were at A&M, poured your heart and soul into it. These coaches at Oregon, Indiana, they were all at A&M, poured their hearts into it. The New England Patriots are in the playoffs. The other people that were associated with A&M are in the college football Final Four. Maybe it's just A&M that can't get their ducks in a row. Maybe it's just the Aggies that can't find a way to win. I don't know. I mean, Bear Bryant wasn't a star at A&M, but he sure was one at Alabama.
Yeah.
Hey, we really appreciate
Real
the
quick
call.
though, what do the Patriots have to do this weekend to win?
Score more points.
Run the ball.
Yeah.
Run the ball. Drake May's going to do what Drake May does. I'm excited to see what Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson do. If we can control the line of scrimmage, we control the game.
Ramondre,
yeah, I think he was at OU coming out of college.
Yeah, that sounds like an OU name, Ramondre. All right.
Landon, appreciate the call, man.
Lando, love you, buddy. Call us when you're back in South Texas.
All right.
Take care, buddy.
So real quick, I'm going to ask you, Saturday, 2 games, Rams and Panthers.
I'll take the Rams.
Yeah, they should win that one. Panthers, the only team in the playoffs with a sub-500 record. Packers and Bears.
They play in the
Both
SEC,
teams have
limped
limped themselves into the playoffs.
Packers and Bears
at Chicago.
Ooh, that's a. You know what? I think I've still got to take the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, playing in cold Chicago, no different than playing in cold Lambeau, right?
The frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
Sunday, Bills Jaguars.
The Bills. I think the Bills are your Super Bowl champion this year.
I do too. I think the game that will determine the NFC is the 49ers and Eagles. I think the winner of that ends up in the Super Bowl on the NFC side. Who do you think is winning this one?
I can't discount
at Philadelphia.
Oh man, I was gonna say the 49ers, but Phillies playing at home. It's hard to beat the Phillies at home in the playoffs.
Chargers, Patriots. We just heard from Landon Simpson.
I think the Patriots beat the Chargers.
I think the Chargers are going to win that one.
All right.
And then Monday night, Texans, Steelers. That'll have most of the eyes in this area on that one. I think the Texans walk all over the Steelers.
I think Aaron Rodgers, it might be. You might be watching his final game. You never can tell.
Is he even still playing? Isn't he hurt or did he play? I don't even know.
Better than
I don't like the Steelers. Never have, since they were better than the Cowboys through most of the 70s.
Absolutely. Folks, we appreciate it. What a great week. What a great week we've had with you folks. And I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy it. Be safe. Drive by Atzenhofer. See why they've been in business 100 years. And have a safe weekend, folks.
Bye, folks.
Down at my near every bar around.